Coordination in plants. Coordination in plants refers to the ability of plants to respond to various stimuli in their environment and to regulate their growth and development accordingly. While plants lack nervous systems, they are able to coordinate their behaviors and responses through various mechanisms, including 1. Hormonal signaling. Plants produce and respond to various hormones, such as auxins, cytokinins, and gibberellins, which coordinate growth, development, and responses to stresses such as drought or infection. 2. Phototropism. Plants are able to sense and respond to light through a process known as phototropism. This allows them to grow and orient themselves towards a light source, helping them to maximize their exposure to sunlight for photosynthesis. 3. Gravitropism. Plants can sense the direction of gravity and regulate their growth and orientation accordingly. For example, plant roots will grow downwards towards gravity, while stems and leaves grow upwards. 4. Thigmotropism. Plants can also respond to touch or physical contact with their environment, a process known as thigmotropism. This can lead to changes in growth and orientation, such as in climbing plants that wrap around supporting structures. 5. Circadian rhythms. Plants have internal biological clocks that regulate various biological processes, such as photosynthesis, metabolic activity, and hormone synthesis. These rhythms allow plants to anticipate and respond to regular environmental changes, such as day-night cycles or seasonal variations. Overall, coordination in plants involves complex and interconnected signaling pathways that allow them to sense and respond to their environment in efficient and adaptive ways to ensure their survival and reproduction. Plant hormones. Tropic responses refer to the directional growth or orientation of a plant in response to an external stimulus, such as light or gravity. There are several types of tropic responses that plants can exhibit. 1. Phototropism. Phototropism is the growth or movement of a plant in response to light. In positive phototropism, plants grow or move towards a light source, while in negative phototropism, they grow or move away from it. 2. Geotropism. Geotropism, also known as gravitropism, is the growth or orientation of a plant in response to gravity. Roots exhibit positive geotropism, growing downward towards the ground, while shoots exhibit negative geotropism, growing upwards away from the ground. 3. Hydrotropism. Hydrotropism is the growth or movement of a plant in response to water. Roots exhibit positive hydrotropism, growing towards sources of moisture. 4. Thigmotropism. Thigmotropism is the growth or orientation of a plant in response to touch or mechanical stimuli. Examples include the twining of a vine around a support, or the curls of tendrils around an object. Tropic responses are important for plant growth and survival, as they enable plants to find necessary resources such as sunlight, water, and nutrients. They are also key in allowing plants to respond and adapt to their environment. Effects of auxins concentration on growth. Auxins are plant hormones that regulate various physiological processes, including cell division, elongation, and differentiation. The concentration of auxins can have different effects on plant growth depending on the specific concentration and the type of plant tissue. Low concentrations of auxins promote cell elongation and stimulate stem and root growth. This is because auxins move to the shaded side of the plant, causing cells to elongate and the plant to bend towards the light source. Moderate concentrations of auxins can promote cell division, leading to increased plant growth and the formation of new lateral shoots and leaves. High concentrations of auxins, on the other hand, can have inhibitory effects on plant growth, causing stunted growth and abnormalities in plant tissues. At very high concentrations, auxins can even be toxic to the plant. Overall, the effects of auxin concentration on plant growth can be complex and dependent on numerous factors such as the plant species, tissue type, and environmental conditions. Balancing auxin concentration is important for maintaining healthy plant growth and development. Tropisms. Tropisms are directional plant growth responses to external stimuli, such as light, gravity, and touch. These growth responses allow plants to optimize their position relative to the environment and are controlled by plant hormones and cellular mechanisms. Geotropism. Geotropism refers to a plant's growth response to gravity, whereby the shoot, stem, grows upwards negatively geotropic, and the roots grow downwards positively geotropic. The geotropic response helps plants to sense and respond to gravity, allowing them to grow upwards to reach light and downwards to obtain water and nutrients from the soil. Geotropism is controlled by specialized cells in the plant called statocytes, which contain dense starch grains that settle in response to gravity and signal the plant to grow in the appropriate direction. Phototropism. Phototropism is a plant's growth response to light. It is the process by which plants orient their growth towards a light source to maximize photosynthesis. Phototropism is mainly controlled by the plant hormone auxin, which moves towards the shaded side of the plant, causing cells to elongate and the plant to bend towards the light. This bending towards light is known as positive phototropism. Phototropism allows plants to adapt to their changing environments and adjust their growth to receive the maximum amount of light energy to drive photosynthesis. C. Hydrotropism. Hydrotropism is a plant's growth response to water. It is the process by which plants orient their roots towards a source of moisture to maximize water absorption. Hydrotropism helps plants to adapt to changes in soil moisture levels, which can vary due to seasonal changes, rainfall patterns, or other factors. The specific mechanisms involved in hydrotropism are not fully understood, but it is thought to be controlled by a combination of chemical and physical factors, including the concentration and distribution of water in the soil and the activity of plant hormones such as abscisic acid. By growing towards sources of water, plants can ensure that they have a consistent supply of moisture to support their growth and survival. D. Thigmotropism. Thigmotropism is a plant's growth response to touch or physical contact. It is the process by which plants exhibit directional growth in response to physical stimulation, allowing them to adjust their growth to physical barriers or supports in their environment. The response is mediated by specialized cells called mechanoreceptors, which detect the mechanical stimuli and activate hormones that promote growth or inhibit it depending on the direction of the stimulus. For example, twining plants may wind around a support structure such as a trellis as a result of thigmotropism. Another example is the thigmomorphogenesis response, whereby plants exposed to repeated mechanical stimulation will modify their growth and development to better withstand future disturbances. Thigmotropism plays an important role in the adaptation of plants to their changing environments and can help them to optimize their growth and survival strategies. E. Chemotropism. Chemotropism is a plant's growth response to chemicals in their environment. It is the process by which plants respond to chemical gradients, moving towards or away from the chemicals in question. Chemotropism is important for the growth and survival of plants, as it allows them to locate and absorb nutrients and other important substances from their surroundings. The mechanisms involved in chemotropism vary depending on the specific chemical involved, but generally involve the interaction of the chemical with specialized receptors on the plant's surface and the activation of internal signaling pathways. For example, root elongation is promoted by gradients of ethylene and its precursor ACC, which can help plants locate sources of nutrients such as phosphate in the soil. F. Thermotropism. Thermotropism is a plant's growth response to temperature. It is the process by which plants adjust their growth and development in response to changes in temperature. Thermotropism allows plants to optimize their growth and development according to the prevailing temperature conditions, maximizing their chances of survival and reproduction. The specific mechanisms involved in thermotropism vary depending on the type of plant and the temperature conditions involved. For example, some plants maintain their growth and development within a narrow temperature range, while others have the ability to adjust their growth and development to a wider range of temperature conditions. Some plants also use thermotropism to regulate the orientation of their leaves or stems, allowing them to capture or avoid sunlight depending on temperature conditions. Overall, thermotropism is an important adaptation that helps plants to cope with the challenges of changing temperature conditions in their environments. G. Rheotropism. Rheotropism is a plant's growth response to water currents or fluid flow. It is the process by which plants adjust their growth and development in response to the movement of water or other fluids in their environment. Rheotropism is important for plants growing in aquatic environments, as it allows them to anchor themselves securely and resist the forces of water flow that could dislodge them. The specific mechanisms involved in rheotropism vary depending on the type of plant and the fluid flow conditions present. Some plants have specialized structures such as roots or stems designed to resist water flow, while others are able to adjust their growth and development dynamically in response to changing flow conditions. Overall, rheotropism is an important adaptation that allows plants to survive and thrive in aquatic environments. Importance of tropisms. Tropisms are important for plants because they allow them to adapt to their environment and optimize their growth and development in response to various stimuli. Tropisms enable plants to detect and respond to different environmental factors, such as light, gravity, touch, chemicals, temperature, and water flow, and adjust their growth and development accordingly. This is essential for survival, as it enables plants to obtain the resources they need for growth and reproduction, avoids physical stresses and dangers, and compete effectively with other plants in their environment. For example, phototropism enables plants to maximize the amount of light they receive for photosynthesis, thereby increasing their growth and reproduction. Gravitropism helps plant roots to grow downward towards soil moisture and nutrients, while stems grow upward to reach sunlight. Thigmotropism allows climbing plants to adhere to and climb up adjacent structures. Chemotropism and rheotropism allow plants to locate and absorb nutrients and water from their environment. The importance of tropisms is not limited to plants, but is also relevant for other organisms that use tropisms to respond to environmental cues. For instance, animal behaviors such as migration, hibernation, and phototaxis also involve tropisms. Overall, tropisms are crucial for the survival and adaptation of organisms to their environment. Nastic responses. Nastic responses are movement and growth responses in plants that are independent of the direction of the stimulus. Unlike tropisms, which are directional growth responses, nastic responses are not oriented towards a particular direction but are determined by the properties of the stimulus itself. Nastic responses can be classified into two main types: thigmonastic responses and nyctinastic responses. Thigmonastic responses are rapid and reversible movements of plant tissues in response to mechanical stimuli, such as touch, pressure or vibration. These movements are often seen in carnivorous plants, which use them to trap and capture their prey. The Venus flytrap, for example, closes its leaves in response to triggers such as movement or pressure on its trigger hairs. Nyctinastic responses are daily or cyclic movements of plant tissues in response to changes in light or darkness, often associated with the circadian rhythms of the plant. The most common example of a nyctinastic response is the movement of plant petals, leaves, or flowers in response to daily changes in light and darkness, such as the opening of flowers during the day and their closing at night or during rain. Overall, nastic responses play an important role in the adaptation and survival of plants in their environment, by allowing them to respond rapidly and accurately to various stimuli and adjust their growth and development accordingly. Importance of nastic responses. Nastic responses are important for plants for several reasons. 1. Protection. Some nastic responses, such as thigmonastic movements, help protect the plant from external threats by closing the leaves or trapping insects. 2. Reproductive success. Nastic movements of flowers can increase the chances of pollination by making flowers more accessible to pollinators. For example, some flowers open up during the day when bees are active, and close at night when they are not. 3. Resource acquisition. Some nastic movements, such as leaf movements, can help plants capture more light for photosynthesis or facilitate water uptake. 4. Circadian rhythms. Nyctinastic responses help plants align their internal clocks with external cues, allowing them to optimize their metabolism, growth and development in sync with the day and night cycles. Overall, nastic responses allow plants to respond rapidly and flexibly to their environment, adjusting their growth and development in real time to optimize their survival and reproductive success. This makes nastic responses a crucial adaptation strategy for plants, many of which are sessile organisms that cannot move in response to changing conditions. Revision questions. 1. What is the survival value for phototropism? Phototropism allows plants to grow towards sources of light, which is important for their survival because it helps them optimize their photosynthesis, which is the process that they use to create energy from sunlight. By growing towards light, plants can capture more energy for photosynthesis and grow more efficiently, enhancing their ability to survive and reproduce. 2. State the growth hormone in plants. The growth hormone in plants is called auxin. It is a key regulator of plant growth and development, controlling various processes such as cell elongation, root development, apical dominance, tropisms, and many others. Auxin is synthesized in the plant's shoot and root tips and is transported to other parts of the plant, where it triggers various growth responses by binding to specific receptors and signaling pathways. 3. Explain why a young seedling kept horizontally on the ground has its shoots growing vertically upwards while the roots grow vertically downwards. When a young seedling is placed horizontally on the ground, it experiences a phenomenon known as gravitropism. Gravitropism is the directional growth of plant roots and shoots in response to gravitational forces. In response to gravity, the plant hormone auxin is redistributed within the stem and root tissues. In the stem, auxin flows downward due to gravity, accumulating at the lower side of the stem. This accumulation of auxin triggers cell elongation on the lower side, causing the stem to bend upwards and grow vertically. In the roots, auxin accumulates on the upper side of the root due to gravity, which again triggers cell elongation on the lower side, causing the roots to bend downwards and grow vertically. Therefore, when a young seedling is placed horizontally on the ground, its shoots grow upwards and its roots grow downwards due to the differential distribution of auxin, which is caused by gravitropism.